for almost anything, but we're all used to that by now. What we know for sure is if you complete all of the requirements, and they've never changed, as long as you complete all of the requirements, you will get confirmed. How, when, by whom, when, here, all that other kind of stuff. Just like we thought we were going to do it last year. If you were following what we did last year, the bishop delegated all the pastors, and we decided to do it in limiting it to 4 families between First Communion and confirmations over, and that was because of the numbers that are limited. Right now it's 150 a year and 60 in the narthex. We were like 5 people short of being able to limit this Mass. Otherwise, if I didn't get sent home from Mass, you can't stay. It'd be horrible. So we were close, but hopefully the numbers will go up eventually, but that's how we did it this year. And that enabled you to bring a whole 10 people. And we did it at regular Masses, so you were able to fill in as long as we weren't over the limit. So I think we did it nicer than from what I hear many other parishes did. So it all worked. It all happened. Just trust the system. Trust that the Lord will get us all through this and will make it as enjoyable as is possible. While we don't want anyone to do anything that they feel totally uncomfortable with, at the same time, we need to start dealing with this. Just start doing whatever we can, otherwise we're all going to go crazy. So thank you for coming today. You see, if you haven't been here for a while, you see how we're all lined up and even how we did communion today. And that just dawned on me at the last minute to do it that way. God inspires me even during Mass, especially when I'm not preaching. I can think what the deacon's talking since I heard 4 other homilies today between last night and this morning. Just doing everything we can to make it as reasonable, as safe as is humanly possible, right down to, as you'll be hearing, how the sessions are going to work and all the other things. So don't do anything you're totally uncomfortable with. At the same time, trust that we are doing everything we can. There's a UV light that comes in here after Masses on the weekend, and that stays lit for a good half hour to 45 minutes. That's the excitement of my Saturday nights, coming back and forth and moving from here to the back of the church to the narthex. So we're doing lots of different things to make sure that we are safe, because I don't want to get sick either. So trust, again, what we're doing. Although there is no obligation to attend Mass, it's sad that Catholics still need to be told when and when they have to go. We should all want to go as a gift to God for everything that He has given us. While there is no obligation to go, there is a serious obligation on the part of those who are seeking sacraments, be it First Communion, confirmation, and so on, to do all that they can to make sure that they are practicing their faith. Again, our parish makes it easy in that beautiful camera on the wall there records the first Mass on Saturday night. Usually on our website, late Saturday night or Sunday morning. As I reminded the 2nd grade parents, even the children's liturgy, that could be one of the service projects they can eventually get involved in. So lots of ways of helping us to keep enabling people to practice their faith, even if they're stuck at home. So lots of ways for us to do that. So thank you for that. Is there anything else I was supposed to say? It's all your show. Okay, bye.
I am actually going to take off my mask because I'm far enough away from all of you. So I am Judy Koch. I am the confirmation coordinator here at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. So anything to do with confirmation, which all of you parents, are, confirmation candidate parents. You may have other children, so all other questions in regard to religious formation will come from the Religious Formation Office. Most of the communication will come from the Religious Formation Office. But anything in regard to confirmation should come through to me. So if you had questions about hours or reflections or sponsors or anything like that, okay, just direct the questions to me. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So, as Father said, a lot of it is going to be what you're familiar with. We're trying to get back to normal, whatever that is. but yet we're doing things a little bit differently. The main thing is everybody's got to receive proper catechesis. Okay, that means instructions. And you have to be instructed by trained catechists. And so that's exactly why we're encouraging, the catechesis classes, especially in person. Okay, you see here we are safe. Okay, we are spaced out. We are going to be doing the same precautions in the classrooms. So that's why we are going to have one way into the building. All those instructions will be emailed out to you this week. So you're going to have one way in the building and one way out of the building. The groups are very small, maximum of 7 kids in a class. Okay, most of you who had been catechists expressed that concern because you've had kids and you've had 14 in the classroom. Well, that's not the case. Okay, you're going to be limited into groups of 7. And for those who really don't feel comfortable coming here, we're offering the virtual class, of which a catechist will be leading the classes, actually. We're going to use the same books. We use 3 books. If you look at the first paragraph, Encounter Bible Study, Decision Point, and then a Bible is required. So you will be getting all of those books. I don't know if you heard Father's announcement after Mass, but the books are available in a cinch sack in the Holy Family Room. You can pick up those books right after this meeting, and then you will be bringing them every week, to the classes, whether you're doing it virtually or here. So everything's together in your bag. If you don't have a Bible, it's the Compass Bible we're using. Our kids received that Bible in 6th grade, so if you were in classes here from 6th grade, you have that Bible. So it's the Compass Bible that we're utilizing. And then Father already mentioned Mass, how important it is to come to Mass or to participate in the Mass, be it virtually or here. Because the reflections that you're going to do, most of you who have had siblings are always looking for the reflections that you pick up the sheet. Well, we're not utilizing those sheets, and that is because we're trying to limit the amount of interaction with paper and so forth. That's why when you come in, you pick up the bulletin. That's why I gave you this form. But, we're going to contain it down into email. But that reflection that I sent out over the summer, and I can send it out again, is a blank form, and it's just asking you what did you get? Okay, from this week's readings, gospel, or the homily, and then Father Tom writes an article, okay, in the bulletin each week. Most of the time it's on a saint. Okay, so then I want you to tell me what you got out of that, out of Father Tom's letter, okay, in the bulletin. So those are the 3 things, or 4, whatever it is, that you would put on there. And that's it. It's free form, so you can put in as much as you want or as little as you want. I want you to think about it. There have been a lot of kids that have been doing it all summer long. Some of them are up to already 18 reflections, and there are 25 that are required. So you start now, okay, and you'll be able to get your 25 in with no problems. The other thing many of you remember are service hours, okay, and how to get church hours, how to get community service hours, and how to get family service. Well, this year, we've lumped it all in, that you have to still get your 30 hours, but you could get it in any way you possibly can. So if that means a lot of kids are involved in outside sports or and helping coaches and things like that, so they're getting it mostly in community and family. We are opening up opportunities in the church for service hours. As you see down at the bottom, there's a net retreat with our teen ministry, and that's being held here on Sunday, November 22nd from 2 to 9 o'clock. It includes Mass and dinner, and you'll get 7 hours of service for that. The Thanksgiving Day dinner preparation, I have to double check as to what is going to be required. That is an outside source that runs that dinner, so they have requirements. Last year, the kids peeled potatoes and carrots. Okay, and sliced them up and diced them up and got the hall ready. I'm not sure if the hall is going to be open, for serving, but I know most of the dinners are going to be going they're going to be delivered. So and as Father said, there's a huge need for that, especially this year. The Hunterdon Care Center has asked us if we could bake cookies for their residents. And so each week we would like to offer at least 3 options of cookies: chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, or snickerdoodles. Package 2 in a Ziploc bag, and bake at least 2 dozen. Okay, so each week, just let me know, okay, I'm going to take the first 3, first come, first serve. So whoever is the first 3 that tells me they'll do it for next week, I will do that, and I will let others know that the other dates that are available. So let's just start that going and then see how far we get, okay? But they can't take too many cookies. So, anyway, so that's the baking cookies. Now, a lot of questions always come up about sponsors, okay? This is going to answer your questions about sponsors. The sponsor must be a practicing Catholic, I'm at number 4, over the age of 16. The exceptions are possible, and in the Diocese of Metuchen, the minimum is 14. So those of you who have siblings who have just been confirmed, they would be able to serve as a sponsor. If not, it has to be a practicing Catholic. Now, if your sponsor is married, your sponsor must be in a valid marriage according to church policy. So you want to consider a person who is a role model and lives their faith. A sponsor certificate is required from the home parish, including here, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. So if your sponsor is from this church, you'll have to contact the office to get a sponsor certificate, and it will be issued for that person, and then file with me in the office. Certificates for other every church has a certificate. So if your sponsor is not from our parish, okay, many churches have requirements, and they set the requirement that they have to be active members, they have to be registered, and even for a set period of time. I had, a couple of years ago, I had someone who was serving as a sponsor. It was a grandmother. She moved, and so she joined a new parish, and she could not get a sponsor certificate right away because they have a minimum requirement of 6 months. And so therefore she had to wait to get her certificate. It came in time, but we were biting our nails in regard to that one. So don't delay. If you know who your sponsor is, request the sponsor certificate right away. All right, and that could be brought in on Monday nights if you're here, okay, in person. If not, you can just mail it in to me. So we will be having, number 5, penance services, one during Advent, one during Lent. We will give you details as to how we're going to do it, because we don't know how we're going to do it yet. Okay, again, we have to maintain social distancing and capacity issues and just go from there. We're planning on a retreat. And so what that retreat is going to look like, we don't know yet. Father did mention that we possibly could have it over 2 days, just because of capacity issues. It may not be in the format that it had been in the past, but it will be a retreat. It will be something different, okay? Because everyone has to go to a retreat before confirmation. And our confirmation date, many parishes are just finishing up their confirmations from 2020. Everything has to be complete in the diocese by Advent. So they only have like maybe 5 more weeks to go, maybe a little bit more than that, about 6 weeks to go before Advent starts, and the diocese is going to close the books on 2020 sacraments. And so therefore, until they do that, then they're going to, because they handle the schedule for the bishop. And so then the request will come out for the confirmations for the following year. Traditionally, ours is in spring. So, and it's usually after classes, which means that it won't be until at least June. Because I looked at the schedule, we have instruction going until the end of May, and then it's going to be Memorial Day, and then we usually try to get it right after Memorial Day. So, but it could change, depending on what's going on. So you already have assignments for next week, for first day of class, baptism report. So other than the reflections, the confirmandi are required to write three reports. One is baptism, one is the saint name, and one is a sponsor report. So in the baptism, each one of these has to be at least 100 words and gives you all the details, where and when were you baptized, what was your name, and why was it selected, who was there at the baptism, who were your godparents, and why were you chosen. Just general information about your baptism. We also would like you to include if you can, a JPEG picture of your baptism. I think this is about the time that we were all using our phones and other devices, to take pictures, and so we have it digitally. And so if you have a digital format of the baptism picture, that would be great, because we will be using that to make up your pew sign on confirmation day. If you had been here for the other confirmations through the years, you see how we make this nice slide presentation of baptism, communion, and a current picture. In regard to current pictures, we have a photographer who will be doing pictures the first week of classes, and so she will be here to take individual pictures. They're not going to be group shots like we've done in the past, because you have to be socially distanced. So since you have to be socially distanced, she's going to take individual pictures of everybody. Okay, saint name report. So I recommend that you go to Catholic.org. There is a tab in there that has saints A to Z. And so think about your saint name that you want to use at confirmation and why you select it. The Father Tom, during his presentation this past year for the confirmation, he actually talked about each one of the saints that the kids picked. And, you know, like he had some really great catechesis for all of us in the church based on the saints. And so if the same thing happens next year, you know, he'll have more fodder here from whatever you gave him. So the requirements are listed down there. And the last is the sponsor. Why are you selecting the sponsor that you're selecting? What kind of relationship do you have with that sponsor? And it could be anybody, you know, as it said earlier, a role model. Look at somebody that you feel is a good Catholic. I've had grandparents as sponsors. I've had friends. I've had, you know, these are for confirmation candidates. So you're not limited. Boys can have a woman and girls can have a man. It does, again, it's not gender specific. So think about who you want to have as your sponsor. And I think that is it. You're all welcome to go to the parish hall to pick up the books. Okay. Now, everybody's getting books, including those who are going to be here in class, as well as those who are going to be virtual. The reports you can actually email to me. The same way you're emailing the reflections, you can email the reports. All right, so I just have a whole bunch of folders. Does anybody have any questions? I know it's really kind of hard because we're all kind of dispersed. Hopefully all of our emails won't answer everything. But for now, you can go into the Holy Family room and try to keep spaced apart. You're going to be running into the people that are donating blood yet, or just for a few minutes. All right, that's it. Thank you.